stomach, right? Well, one of the important things is the inside of the stomach. If you were to open a stomach up, what you would immediately find would be these ridges, these ripples. These ridges and ripples have a name. They're called rugae, R-U-G-A-E. These rugae act kind of like the agitator in a washing machine, and that is that they curl and churn and turn the food that's in the stomach. By this time it's called chyme, C-H-Y-M-E. The other things I wanted to show you is that this is the spleen right here. It's on the left side. Now, the gallbladder. This is the gallbladder, right? Now, this particular model shows the tubes of the gallbladder, but they're pretty important. You recognize this, of course, as being the liver. Okay, now, the tube coming from the liver is called a hepatic duct, H-E-P-A-T-I-C, duct, D-U-C-T.
Where was that at?
It's this one.
Okay.
And it comes from
The liver. You see, the liver makes bile. This one.
Hepatic.
The hepatic duct, right? Now, what happens is that the hepatic duct leads to an intersection. That tube coming from the gallbladder, this is the gallbladder, that tube coming from the gallbladder is called the cystic duct, C-Y-S-T-I-C, the cystic duct. Now, the job of the cystic duct is to store bile, and I'll tell you about its significance in a few seconds. However, the cystic duct and the hepatic duct meet to form the common bile duct. Here's the common bile duct. The common bile duct leads directly to the duodenum of the small intestines.
Oh, the cystic duct meets with what?
The cystic duct and the hepatic duct.
I can,
They
I can
meet-
upload this
That's
for you
right.
from the beginning.
At
So you're welcome.
At the
Yeah, I'm
duodenum.
taping for other people, and I was like, crap. These start
Here,
outside.
come closer, I'll show you. Here's the duct that's making the bile, right? Then some of the bile goes directly into the common bile duct, but most of it is stored in the liver. And that tube leading, that duct leading to the liver is called the cystic duct.
Okay.
The duct that makes the bile, is that the hepatic
It
duct?
carries the bile. From the liver is the hepatic, right? H-E-P-A-T-I-C.
And then the cystic and the hepatic meet to form the common.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh.
Now then, what happens is that there's quite frankly, a couple of feedback mechanisms that I'm going to tell you about in lecture this morning, in which if you're eating a rich meal, a meal high in fat, there are hormones that are released that squeeze the muscles around the bile duct, the gallbladder, and squeeze excess bile out and into the hepatic duct, rather into the cystic duct, and ultimately into the common bile duct to go into the small intestines. Now that's what's supposed to happen when you eat a high-fat meal or diet. Now, if you need your gallbladder removed, you can see where the surgeon would cut the gallbladder there, rather the cystic duct there, and ligate it, that is, suture it, and consequently what's happening is that the bile that you're making, if you've had your gallbladder removed, and I hope you never have to, it'll go directly into the small intestines. It won't be stored. Now, the consequence of that is that when someone who has had his gallbladder removed, if he eats a meal rich in fats, then he does not have reserve bile in order to help him digest those fats. He has to take bile salts in order to help him digest the fats, right? Because he cannot rely on a reserve. The reserve is no longer there. Get the idea?
I
Yep,
don't take
mhm.
anything.
What?
I don't have my gallbladder. I don't take anything.
Well, okay, you're lucky.
Am I supposed to?
Well, sometimes. You're a very young woman. Wait till you're 50, 55, 60.
Eventually.
But in any event, what happened in your case is that the surgeon cut the cystic duct, sewed it, and took out your gallbladder so that now the bile being released by your liver goes directly into your small intestines. That's what's happening to you. Okay? Okay.
But when the gallbladder is removed, what's actually happening? It's not able to like digest the fats, and that's why it needs to be removed to begin with, or
Stones,
Oh, no,
right?
generally stones form in it. And you should not have the mental imagery that stones are rolling around like at the bottom of a jar, and all you have to do is crack the jar and take them out, because these stones actually merge and melt into the tissue of the gallbladder, and they're all over.
okay.
Consequently, in addition, the gallbladder is really made of tough areolar tissue that cannot be sutured.
Okay.
So it's not just a matter of taking out part of the gallbladder. You have to take out the whole thing.
Okay.
Anything else? All right, that'll end the digestive system. Since you guys are so far out ahead, I'd like you to take a look at the just the fundamentals, of the kidney. I doubt if we'll get to the kidney today. Here we go. But there's a couple of things that are easy and that you can learn easily enough. This model will do just fine. Here's the kidney, but here is its position in the body. Now, these two are the kidneys. 1 and 2 are the kidneys. Above the kidneys, number 6 here, above each kidney is a very, very important gland called the adrenal gland. Now, that's its street name. Its real name is the suprarenal gland.
Will you point to it again, please?
Number 6
Okay,
and number 6.
thank you.
Okay. Now, the only things I'd like you to learn this morning is that urine is made in the kidneys and it's dumped into a tube called the ureter. Number 3 is the ureter. The ureter goes down your back, the back of the pelvic cavity, and ultimately connects on to the urinary bladder. Here's the urinary bladder. Here is the urethra. Both males and females have a urethra. If you learn someplace that only females have a urethra, well, that's wrong. Both males and females have a urethra. So consequently now, the urethra, the urinary bladder, the ureters, the kidneys, and the suprarenal glands are your project for this morning. Okay?
Okay,
Okay, that's it.
thank you.